Chapter 7. Gandhi bought 80 acres of fertile soil in South Africa. He founded a community called Venus. It became the headquarters for Indian politics. 40 to 50 followers of Gandhi live at Venus. There, they promote the simple way of life. In 1905, there was a new law before the South African legislature called the Asiatic Law Agreement. The law was to prevent further Asian immigration to South Africa. The whites did not want any more colored people. Under the new law, all Indians over the age of 8 had to carry a registration card. Police could ask to see the card at any time. This was seen as a way to find and deport illegal immigration. Gandhi bitterly opposed this law and formed a campaign of resistance called Truth Force. Hundreds and then thousands of Indians carried picket signs and marched in front of government offices. They protest what they called the Black Law. Gandhi publicly announced that he would not register. In January 1908, he was arrested for failing to register. He was taken before a judge. Gandhi was convicted and sentenced to 2 months in jail. This would be the first of many jail sentences Gandhi served while fighting for justice. Gandhi eventually worked out a compromise with the government to make registration voluntary. He was on his way to register voluntarily when he was attacked by a Hindu. The Hindu man believed that Gandhi had given on the issue. Gandhi was struck in the head with a stone, but he was not seriously hurt. Harilal, Gandhi's eldest son, was unhappy with his father's strictness. Homeschooled, Harilal longed for a formal education. When Harilal married a local girl, his father opposed the marriage. Then, Gandhi pushed his son into the battle for civil rights in South Africa. Harilal Gandhi was arrested. His wife and young son were left alone while he was in prison. Harilal blamed his father for this misfortune. Gandhi could clearly see how the Indians in South Africa were abused, but he could not see how the black majority was even more cruelly treated. He briefly assisted the Zulus during one of their uprisings. He carried the Zulu wound off the battlefield, but otherwise he did not get involved in the victimization of blacks. In October 1908, Gandhi was again arrested for failing to carry his registration card. He was sentenced to 2 months at hard labor. Later, he got 3 months at hard labor. He spent 9 hours a day polishing the asphalt floor and iron door of his cell. By the time he was released in May 1909, his fame had spread beyond South Africa and India to the world. His battle for Indian rights for South Africa had captured the attention of the world press. Gandhi traveled to London to explain his struggle. He published a pamphlet called Home Rule. It asked Great Britain to grant independence to India. He also asked the Indian people to return to their traditional ways. Harilo was now in full rebellion against his father. He left South Africa for India. Now, 23, he desperately wanted the high school education he had been denied. He enrolled in an Indian high school. The breach between Harilo and his father was now so deep it would never be healed. Chapter 8. In March 1913, the South African government made all non-Christians' marriage null and void. Gandhi and other civil rights leaders reversed this quickly. In June 1914, Gandhi made an agreement with the government, which was a freedom charter for Indians. The Black Act was abolished and all civil rights for Indians were returned to them. Gandhi called this a victory for his methods of peaceful resistance. In July 1914, Gandhi and his family returned to India. At this time, World War I was breaking out. Germany, Australia, Hungary, and their allies were fighting against Great Britain, France, Russia, and their allies. At the time, Great Britain still ruled India along with some Indian princes. Gandhi continued to oppose all war. Once again, he formed another ambulance corps to assist the wounded. Gandhi also asked Britain for home rule for India. He demanded an end to the untouchable class and equality for women. There was one specific way in which women suffered greatly. That was the tradition that if a man died, his wife was accepted to jump into the funeral parade to die as well. Gandhi built a community of followers at Sabarmati. He invited the untouchables to join. There were 10 million untouchables in India. They were forbidden to use public roads or public wells. They had to live apart from other people. Since the untouchables had little work, many had to scavenge for food like animals. When Gandhi admitted the first untouchable family to Sabarmati, his wife was very upset. Great Britain's Government of India Act of 1919 set up preliminary steps for eventual home rule for India, but the Rowlatt Act of the same year established severe penalties of sedition. Anything that disrupts daily life in the country could be called sedition. Gandhi opposed the Rowlatt Act. He called a hartal, or an Indian day of mourning. All business were closed and there were massive protest demonstrations. Gandhi also fasted. The hartal spread throughout the country. It gave the Indian people a sense of new power. The hartal brought life to a standstill in India. In the city of Amritsar, the hartal turned violent. 2 Englishmen were killed by an Indian mob. British General E. H. Dara was sent in the restored order. He banned all further demonstrations in the city. When 10 to 20,000 Indians gathered for a peaceful demonstration. Dyer ordered his troops to fire into the crowd. Gunfire rained on terrifying people running for their lives. On that day, at least 379 people died and hundreds were injured. Gandhi joined the rest of India in outrage against the atrocity.